Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the story of a daring crew that ventured from Earth to Mars. This is a tale of exploration, survival, and the ultimate discovery of alien life beyond our planet. Let's get started. The story begins with a group of highly trained astronauts sent on a mission to Mars. They don't land on the Martian surface directly, instead, they live on a massive space station orbiting the red planet. The crew's transportation to Mars' surface involves a special capsule named Pilgrim. This capsule is equipped for the hazardous task of safely delivering the astronauts and returning with precious Martian soil samples. Over the course of 8 grueling months, the crew collects samples of the Martian soil, enduring harsh conditions and isolation. But just as they are nearing the completion of their mission, disaster strikes. A piece of debris from an old satellite collides with the capsule Pilgrim, leaving it partially out of their control. This sudden event creates a critical situation. The crew must fix the capsule's intake systems from outside while it remains in the thin Martian atmosphere. Time is of the essence. The crew realizes that even a small miscalculation could result in catastrophic consequences. With the capsule's intake speed set dangerously high, any mistake could result in severe injuries or even death. Despite the risks, one astronaut bravely ventures outside to repair the malfunction, determined to secure the soil samples that have cost millions of dollars and countless hours of effort. Against all odds, the crew successfully retrieves Pilgrim with 69 soil samples from Mars. But their work isn't over. The samples are immediately placed inside specialized machines designed to analyze their composition. As the testing begins, the temperature inside one of the machines begins to rise unnaturally, hinting at a significant discovery. When the analysis is complete, the team realizes that there are unmistakable signs of microbial life in the Martian soil. For the first time in human history, evidence of extraterrestrial life has been confirmed. The crew is elated they've found proof that life exists beyond Earth. As they begin their preparations to return home and share their findings with the world, excitement and anticipation fill the air. However, the crew's celebrations are cut short as something begins to go wrong. The biological entity within the sample, now named Kelvin, starts to exhibit rapid growth and signs of intelligence. What was thought to be a simple microorganism begins interacting with its environment, growing stronger and more aware. Kelvin's rapid adaptation alarms the crew, who realize they are dealing with a potentially dangerous organism. One crew member, Dr. Miranda, becomes increasingly worried about Kelvin's growth. She suggests that they attempt to neutralize the organism by using a controlled electric shock. Dr. Arion dons his protective gloves and carefully approaches Kelvin with an electric rod. As the current is applied, Kelvin reacts violently, wrapping around the doctor's arm with incredible strength. Dr. Arion tries to pull away, but Kelvin crushes the bones in his arm. The rest of the crew rushes to help, but Dr. Miranda orders them to stay back, unwilling to risk anyone else's safety. Despite his efforts, Kelvin's grip intensifies, and Dr. Arion loses consciousness. The crew watches helplessly as Kelvin makes its way out of the containment box and starts floating freely inside the station. Once the creature runs out of sight, Rory Adams enters the chamber and pulls Dr. Arion out. But during the process, Kelvin wraps around Rory's leg. Seeing this, one of the crew members, David Jordan, locks the door. Rory grabs a torch and breaks the outer glass, electrocuting Kelvin, causing the creature to retreat. After that, Rory tries to burn it using a thruster, but quickly realizes it's not working. Despite his efforts to kill Kelvin, the creature forces its way into Rory's body through his mouth. And Kelvin eventually kills him. The thruster sets off the fire alarm, triggering the release of gas from the fire extinguisher valves to contain the blaze. Kelvin emerges from Rory's body and attempts to escape through the open valves. The crew rushes to close the valves one by one, but unfortunately, Kelvin finds a way out and vanishes from sight. Panic sets in as the crew loses track of Kelvin's location. The crew's attempts to contact Earth for assistance are met with silence. Their communication systems have been compromised, forcing them to go outside the station to repair the transmitter. When Commander Ekaterina reaches the external transmitter, she discovers that Kelvin has infiltrated her spacesuit. Unable to see clearly, she struggles to maintain control, but the coolant inside her suit begins leaking into her helmet. Ekaterina's vision blurs, and her heart rate spikes as the suit fails to protect her. In a desperate attempt to save herself, Ekaterina moves toward the station's airlock, where Dr. David tries to bring her inside. But as Ekaterina nears the airlock, Kelvin tightens its grip on her suit, severing vital connections. Ekaterina makes the ultimate sacrifice. She releases herself from the suit, allowing her body to drift into space while ensuring Kelvin remains trapped. Inside the station, the remaining crew members know they must find a way to destroy Kelvin. They plan to use the spaceship's engines, hoping to burn the creature if it tries to enter, but each attempt fails, and with every move, they lose precious fuel, risking their entire mission and their lives. As the spaceship begins drifting toward Earth, the crew faces an impossible decision. If Kelvin makes it to Earth, it could threaten all of humanity. Dr. Miranda proposes that they isolate themselves inside a small cabin and let the spaceship drift into space, cutting off Kelvin's access to the oxygen it needs to survive. But before the plan can be fully executed, Kelvin strikes again. Dr. David and Dr. Miranda manage to trap Kelvin in a section of the station. They seal the area and release all the oxygen, hoping to render Kelvin inactive. Dr. Miranda and Dr. David decided to head toward Earth in separate capsules, leaving behind the spaceship and Kelvin. As Dr. David enters his capsule and fastens his seatbelt, Kelvin slips inside, unnoticed. In the final moments, Dr. David makes a selfless decision, separating his section of the ship from the rest and drifting into space with Kelvin, ensuring Dr. Miranda can head toward Earth safely. But a collision alters their trajectories. Dr. Miranda's capsule is sent hurtling into deep space, while Dr. David's capsule, now under Kelvin's control, lands in the ocean. When fishermen approach and open the capsule's door, they are met with a terrifying sight. Dr. David, still alive but completely controlled by Kelvin. The discovery of life on Mars has now turned into a dire threat to humanity. With Kelvin free on Earth, the future of mankind hangs in the balance. And that's the story of the mission to Mars that changed everything. This gripping tale shows the risks and consequences of exploring the unknown and the price of discovering life beyond Earth. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling stories.